Let me introduce my guest today, Elsa Hepez. She's Elsa. Did I pronounce your last name for me?
Yeah, correct. Hepez. Yeah.
Hepez, I got it. Ambassador at the UK Refugee Council. She's a citizen of the United Kingdom. She's a Brit. Elsa, welcome.
Thank you.
You and
Thank
I
you
have
for having me.
spoken. It's great to be with you. You and I have spoken briefly. I just adored the piece you wrote a few weeks ago, and the title grabbed me, and then the piece really grabbed me. Grief for the America I Knew. Let's start here. What compelled you to write this piece?
I think that patriotism has become this really negative concept of like almost like if you're patriotic, then you obviously hate the rest of the world. And I didn't feel like that at all. I felt incredibly welcome. I love that everybody had a different skin color wherever you went. Everybody was different, came from somewhere else. And I think that's a great thing. You work hard, you do well. Like that's how the world should be.
Amen. And so, amen to all of that. And that's what I've always loved about living here. And so, but then, okay, so with all of that as a pretext, you then 3 weeks ago write this piece titled "Grief for the America I Knew."
Mm-hmm.
Explain that.
Yeah, I mean, what I found really hard, that I guess the catalyst for writing the article was the I mean, frankly, disgraceful moment in the Oval Office where Trump sort of attacked Zelensky. That was to me the catalyst for just shock and horror. I grew up with grandparents who had lived through the Holocaust, who were Jewish, who, by the way, to this day, everybody's grateful to the Americans. Like nobody says, "Oh, the Americans didn't save our ass in Normandy." Yes, you did, and we're really grateful for it. And I think sometimes people are like, especially the last few days where they said, "Oh, if it wasn't for us, the French would be speaking Germans." Yeah, we would. That we know this. Like this is why we're so grateful to America. There's no question about it.
And I'm so glad you said that, Elsa. And I want everybody listening to hear that. That you are still, and Europeans are still so grateful for what America did in World War II. But Trump's press secretary comes out and says, only because of America.
Yeah.
If not only you'd be speaking German, fuck that. A lot of other people, right?
Yeah.
The Allied forces involved a lot of countries.
Yeah. And so those of us who grew up with grandparents who lived through that, we were told the stories of war, and we were told the stories of the horrors of the Second World War and the importance of America as an ally. Like for me, America, signified democracy and diplomacy more than anything. But I really thought that we got to a point where certain things like racism, basic human rights, like healthcare rights, reproductive rights, positive immigration. I don't mean opening borders and letting everybody in. That's not what we mean. We just mean incorporating other nations into our own and welcoming them in. Like all of these things should be a non-negotiable, should be something that we don't have to think about anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like we've moved past that. And then I feel just like a lot of people feel like it's just moved backwards. Like suddenly women's rights are taken away, and departments of education, like things that are they should be so ingrained into the Constitution and basic for people. For us, it feels archaic. For like the French and the British and the Germans, and I'm not saying we get it all right, but we definitely know that, basic things like that are part of your day-to-day. Why are you taking them away? It just feels like you're moving backwards.
Do you distinguish between Trump and the American people, or has that distinction blurred?
It's a good question. I think it's a bit that it's the slightly same answer as before. I think people who only read or get their information through social media will associate all Americans as being Trump fans. Like they'll just say, "Oh, this is America. They voted for him. To hell with them." But no, there's a huge amount of people who are extremely sad for the majority of Americans who, and there are so many Americans that are shocked. I mean, it's not like nobody voted for Kamala. It's a hell of a lot of millions of people that are now, really disappointed and really shocked. But if I guess the question is, have we slightly lost a little bit of respect for the nation? Yeah, if you read the majority of the press and you listen to what people are saying, then yes, we have. And it's really sad, especially when you have people like, Elon Musk coming in, and it's funny. Well, no, it's not funny that it's America, but it's exactly what happens in Russia. This is like oligarchs taking over. And I think people don't understand what that means. When you have somebody with lots of money who is unelected, who's coming in and making decisions for you and how it affects your life, that's not a democracy. That is not how democracies work. And I think the problem is people think, oh, but he's made so much money, he's a successful guy, therefore that's gonna have a positive impact on me eventually. That's just not
Elsa,
how it is.
it's interesting. You and I differ politically on probably most issues. I come from the right, and I'll acknowledge that I think the right in America, sadly, is much more predisposed to embrace authoritarianism, to embrace a strong man. And so I say this as an American who abhors Donald Trump. If I were a European leader right now, I would give America the middle finger. I would say, Trump, screw you. You're with Stalin. I was about to say Stalin. You're with Putin. You're not on the side of the free world. Well, we're not going to pander to you. We're not going to bow to you, Donald. Screw you. America, we love you, but forget you guys right now. We're on our own. I'd give America the middle finger. I know that's probably the stupidest thing to do, but if I were a European leader, I'd give Trump the middle finger. Screw you. You picked your side.
It's hard. It's hard because you don't want to let go of these global institutions like NATO and the UN. You want to believe that we are all stronger together, and we also don't know who's going to come after Trump. I mean, unless there's a Trump 3.0, you never know. I've seen crazier things in the last few years, but we don't know who's going to come back next. And just in the same way, there was an extremely negative, Brexit vibe in the UK a few years ago. As time goes by and we thought we'd be so cool by ourselves and stronger economically, our economy has tanked. We're in so much trouble in the UK. And so people are realizing now, they're like, shit, maybe we are better as part of a union, as part of, with better trade agreements and safer borders. So
you ended your piece with, okay, America, you may be gone, you may be on your own, but everything you taught me and everything I learned from you, I'm going to keep fighting for. Like you've got these wonderful stuff, Elsa. You said, the America I loved may be dying, but I will not let its values die with it. And then you said this that I just love. You said, but if there is one thing that America has taught me, it is to stand up and fight for what is right. America taught me that democracy is not inherited, it is defended. That freedom is not given, it is earned. That silence in the face of oppression is complicity. And everybody listening to us, this is stuff that you've always admired about and learned from America. I'm going to defend democracy and freedom. I'm going to defend what's right. I'm going to fight for these things. So even if America is doing whatever, like you're still going to take that stuff, what America taught you, and fight for what's right. I just loved that. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh, every weekday on all of my social channels, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Spread the word, spread the gospel.